We're thrilled to have welcomed our first grandbaby recently. But growing this precious human hasn't been easy on our daughter. The unrelenting pregnancy fatigue really took it out of her.
One thing that helped was keeping her fluids up, and she loved Rehydrate. Rehydrate is an essential electrolyte drink made by some great guys right here in Brizzy. It's safe during pregnancy and breastfeeding and is like a magical little energy and hydration boost for mum and bub.
If you're growing a little human or are just feeling a little run down, grab some at Coles today.
It's the Happy Families podcast with Dr. Justin Coulson. We're Luke and Susie, parents of 3 young boys, and this is the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants some answers now.
I'm loving today's topic, Suze, because it's one of the times we're talking about marriage and parenting where I feel like I'm actually coming in as the expert.
Joining us from happyfamilies.com.au, Dr. Justin Coulson, and we are going to nail 7 ways to totally terrible parenting today.
Do you want me to just run from here and just let you know what I do as a dad and we're done, Justin?
If you don't want me to talk, then you just go for it. I'll listen carefully.
No, let's go with you.
So we're teaching people to be terrible, right?
Well, being a terrible parent, like totally terrible, is actually very easy. We don't have to look too far to see those times where we've done it. There are opportunities to be totally terrible in every moment with our children. And what I love about totally terrible parenting is it's even easier to be judgmental about other people's terrible parenting than it is about our own. Social media, puts it right out there. We can see other people's poor parenting pushed straight into our timelines. But I was thinking about this, and I thought, let's have some fun. I mean, there is a serious side to this, but what if we were to put together 7 steps to totally terrible parenting? So here we go. Number 1, just ignore your kids.
I don't even know they exist most of the time.
Yeah, that will absolutely do it. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I mean, what are their names? What do you want? And let me explain here as much as you can. Just leave them to their own devices. Yeah. And when I say leave them to their own devices, I mean that literally and figuratively. Yeah. Just when they want you, say, "I'm sorry, I'm too busy. I don't have time for you."
Yep, great.
And also make sure you say, "Hurry up! Would you hurry up, please? Just get going. Hurry up!" Because what that means is they're absolutely going to know for sure that they're not important and they're not worthy of your time and that they're an impediment. So that's the best way to really, I think, be totally terrible.
Right.
And the more dismissive you can be, the more totally terrible you'll be as a parent, and the worse they'll turn out. Okay, here's number 2. Right. Get angry about everything, and when you're being angry, yell as much as you can.
Yell.
That helps to show that you're angry. Yell. Yeah.
Good.
Okay, here's number 3. Spend more time on your screens.
Yeah. Great.
And this works for both you and for your kids. The thing, we're not looking at each other's faces. We can't read each other's cues because we're not really paying attention to each other. We've got our own agenda, and staring at screens is a great way to do that. Just say to your kids, "I've just got to finish this Facebook status update," or "I'll be with you in a minute. Let me just go and catch this Pokemon."
Yeah. Let me just finish this level of Candy
That'll
Crush.
leave them feeling terrible.
Yep, got it. Number 4.
Okay, this one's my favourite. Stay up late. I know it doesn't sound that serious, but sleep deprivation is awesome for completely incapacitating you as a parent.
Yeah.
So the less sleep you get, the more irritable and angry and dismissive and terrible you'll be to your children. And if you can string a bunch of late nights together in a row, you'll be even more terrible.
Yep, awesome.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
This is going really well. We're going to look at the last 3 of these 7 ways to completely totally terrible parenting. That's
Can we just recap the first 4? So what do we got?
We're ignoring our kids, getting angry about everything, spending time on our screens and staying up late.
Nailing it so far. More with Dr. Justin Coulson from 21 Days to a More Terrible Family. Is it? No. Happier Family.
Happier Family.
That's what we're looking at next.
Family life is pretty tough going sometimes. Most days are a struggle between strong-willed children and frazzled parents. And while no parent wakes up in the morning saying, "Today's the day I'm going to ruin everyone's lives," it sometimes feels like that by the end of the day. 21 Days to a Happier Family is the #1 parenting book by Dr. Justin Coulson for parents who want their kids to be better, themselves to be calmer, and their family to be happier. Now the book is also available as an online video course. In the program, you'll find specific strategies to help you be at your best, evidence-based ideas to strengthen your relationship with your children, research-proven practices to improve understanding between you and your child, discipline strategies that work because they're about discipline and not punishment, and more tips to make your family happier. And as a special offer only for podcast listeners, use the code PODCAST at checkout for a massive $50 saving. 21 Days to a Happier Family, the online video course by Dr. Justin Coulson. Get it now from happyfamilies.com.au.
It's the Happy Families podcast with Dr. Justin Coulson, and today it is all about 7 ways to totally terrible parenting.
Okay, so we're up to the 5th one. What's number 5 for us to absolutely ruin our kids' lives?
Blame them. Just blame them for everything, especially for how terrible your life turned out. It's all their fault. Everything is their fault. It'll work. It will ruin their life and yours.
Yeah, good. All right.
Okay.
Number 6.
Give them alcohol and drugs. Some parents try to show their kids that they're actually not totally terrible, but totally cool by giving them alcohol and drugs. I've come across many of these parents. And if you supply these substances to your children so they can be totally cool and have really totally cool parents, well, that's actually obviously totally terrible. So the best time to start this, if you're planning on it, is around 13 and they've started going to parties. If you want to be extra totally terrible, start earlier.
Well, okay, great. I haven't got into that. So number 7, to round out how to be totally terrible.
Okay, just let them do whatever they want. Seriously, it's probably the easiest way to be a totally terrible parent. Shrug your shoulders and say, "Sure, kids, go for your life." Every time they ask you anything, if they want the day off school, go for it. Want to hang out with your friends at the shops all day instead of going to school? Hey, great. Want to try those drugs or sleep with those people or party all night and drive without a license in the car? Just do whatever feels good. Sure. Makes my life easier, gets you off my back, go for it.
Yeah, good. All right. Well,
Okay, so if we want to be a totally terrible parent, this is it in a nutshell.
is this a really good time to talk about Australian sarcasm and make sure that anybody who's listening to our show right now understands the facetious nature of this entire list, and that.
Look, I feel bad even saying this stuff, but I had fun writing the list. I mean, you can see how you can poke fun at it. Do you know what, though, Luke? Every parent does at least some of these things some of the time. I mean, none of us are perfect, but I guess I've really put the list together because if we do most of these things most of the time, our kids are going to suffer. Yeah. And in 10 days or 10 weeks or definitely 10 to 20 years, so are we, and so is the community. It's very easy to be a totally terrible parent. We just don't have to do anything. Yeah.
Can I tell you, I've messed up a lot of these things. I can avoid point 6, but the rest, in some way, I reckon I've come pretty close to. The one that gets me, that I just feel horrible, is not just only being angry, but being quick to be angry. And there was a particular moment where I was really upset with one of our children and I was angry very quickly at him. I didn't ask questions. I didn't listen to his explanation. He went into the naughty corner. He got told what for, and he looked very forlorn, and he looked like he was really sorry that he had done it. Until I discovered it actually wasn't him that did it at all. It was his brother who walked out of the room with a sheepish look on the face. And this poor kid, because I was not only angry but so quick to angry, He copped it, and I just felt like the biggest dropkick of a dad at that particular point in time, because that poor kid had just gone through an emotional trauma because I was angry and quick to anger. Justin.
Yeah, that's totally terrible. Totally terrible parenting right there, Luke. You know what we should do in our next conversation is we should have a conversation, maybe even a couple of them, about different strategies to turn away our anger, because it's so easy for us to get really cranky at our kids, and it's damaging when we do it. There's no need for us to be angry at them ever, even when they do the wrong thing. And I've got a list of about 50 different ways that we can turn away anger and deal with children, even when they're challenging, in really, really great ways.
Oh, that sounds excellent. I love that at the end of the day, when you take these totally terrible parenting tips, a simple strategy of just choosing to love your children. You love them through giving them time, by being compassionate, by being attentive, is the way to turn around all 7 of those things in one simple word. Dr. Justin Coulson from happyfamilies.com.au, thank you so much for your time today.
It's been amazingly awesome.
For more information on all of Dr. Justin's books, podcasts, programs, you can find them all at happyfamilies.com.au. But don't forget, Justin is available to speak at your school or organisation. You can find out more at justincoulson.com.